African people all over the world are celebrating the first harvest, the first fruit of the season. So we have extended this based on what has been created through Dr. Maulana Karena back in the 60s as an African-American family and community and nation celebration. And it has been celebrated since the 60s to the point that now it is celebrated all over the world. It has its roots in the first harvest, which goes way back into ancestral, ancient African cultural tradition, as far back as the times of the Kemetu in East Africa. So in contemporary times, what celebrations like these do for our community, it's a time of renewal, it's a time of re-Africanizing and resurging our energies so that we can begin to celebrate the work we do together cooperatively, the collective types of engagement that we have together throughout the year, and more importantly, that we maintain what is called the inclusive Saba. And I'd like to take a moment to really go through the inclusive Saba. During the Kwanzaa celebration, the first day of Kwanzaa, which starts on December 26th of every year, is Umoja. And Umoja means unity. So that's a day where the families get together and the community organizations get together, and just those of all like mind, even those that aren't of like mind, come together to show our unity for what family, heritage, and cultural traditions of the African heritage experience in the West, in the East, and everywhere. The second day, which is December 27th, is Kujichakulia. I know the pronunciation. Peace by you. Kujichakulia means self-determination. So the focus is for us to speak of the African experience of being independent, being self-determined, and dealing with our liberation, engagement, and struggles everywhere in the world, with the highlight being our ascension as a self-determined African people, as a part of the human family. The third day, and it's really powerful when we start to speak of the third day, because people speak of collective work in many different ways. The Kiswahili term is Ujima, and I'll say again, Ujima. And on that third day, the celebration is about collective work, and what do we do in terms of being responsible for our collective work. What kind of things have we done for the entire year, and it's a wonderful opportunity for children to share with the elders, and vice versa, what has been done from the last Kwanzaa celebration to this one. So it's almost like a time of reporting in a very culturally engaging way. So we do it through dance and song and essay writing and art displays and food preparation. So it's a very engaging time of that period of the Kwanzaa celebration. On the fourth day of Kwanzaa, we acknowledge Ujama. Now Ujama is dealing with what a lot of people are focused on in these times: money, cooperative economics. How do we support one another's businesses? How do we support entrepreneurship? How do we encourage our children to work with elders in terms of mentorship and so forth, apprenticeships and so forth, so that we actually know how to deal with building and strengthening our workforce, our views of economics, and really keeping the money flowing positively within our community. The fifth day of Kwanzaa is Nia. Nia means purpose. So we talk about the principles of why we do what we do. What is the impetus? What is the drive? What is the energy that keeps you engaged and moving ever forward, ever strong in the work that you're engaged in all year long? Okay, and we celebrate that. We have different activities that we share in that regard. And on the sixth day of Kwanzaa, it's Kuumba, which means creativity. So that's the day that people bring all of their creative energies, their creative displays, their creative activities, not only in a report form, but we like to share by doing it. So that's usually a time where we're dancing all the time, with music all the time. But on that particular day of Kuumba, we speak of the creativity that we have encouraged, that we have enforced within our community, within our families, and of course within the nation. But also, how do we continue that creative force, that creative energy throughout the balance of the year? The seventh and the final day of Kwanzaa, which falls on January the 1st, which is in the Gregorian calendar, the beginning of the year, is a day that's celebrating faith. And the word is Iman. When we speak of Imani, we're speaking of faith, we're speaking of our spirituality as an African people, and how we're all one, irrespective of the different denominations, different expressions that we have that people refer to as religion. So it's not a religious celebration. It's how we can begin to share our humanity, how can we begin to share our spiritual values, our spiritual traditions, our spiritual culture, our spiritual aspirations. So it's a wonderful time. Usually members of all the denominations within the community come together and they share in sacred word or sharing the word and each group's expression, and it's brought together. And whenever we get getting together and celebrating Kwanzaa, we use the term Harambe, like pulling it all together. So like every day you'll just hear people saying Harambe, and they'll celebrate that particular day. And at the end we just do it 7 times, and it's like we stay in a circle, we keep the unity so that we can maintain that energy, maintain that sacred vibration throughout the balance of the year. So that in a nutshell is a compilation of what Kwanzaa is. And it's an integral part of our experience here in the Caribbean, because Caribbean people are rooted in harvest, rooted in agricultural development, rooted in family and tradition, rooted in supporting our heritage and our cultural consciousness. So Kwanzaa is an extension of that same experience. And the way Kwanzaa has been celebrated in the U.S. Virgin Islands for over 40 years now has been a wonderful experience. Dr. Maulana Karenga formulated a resurgence of the African Heritage Celebration in December 1966, and has been celebrated primarily in the Western Hemisphere from that time to present, but now it is celebrated all over the earth by people of African ancestry and African heritage. And the idea is that it's not a new celebration, it's just a resurgence, a resurrection, if you will, of a traditional celebration from Africa that is really within our gene pool, and it's innate to celebrate around this time of year. And the fact that it coincides with the Western celebrations of Christmas, as well as Hanukkah, as well as the Festival of Lights amongst the East Indian tradition, as well as the winter solstice, which is something that is an integral part of this time. It's a time when we celebrate what's taking place astronomically, what's taking place agriculturally, of course, as well as architecturally in terms of people's engagement. What are we building? And also within our arts and sciences. I'm very cautious and very clear that Kwanzaa is not a replacement for Christmas. As a time of family, a time of tradition, and a time of respect for African heritage and African contributions to humanity. And that, of course, lends itself to our times where we acknowledge, just as I said earlier, that the winter solstice is a time where we actually have the longest night of the year. So we're actually looking for the sun, and from this period, December 21st, onward, the days become longer. So it does have a relationship to acknowledgement and reverence for the sun S-U-N, as well as the sun S-O-N, because it's a time when we celebrate our children. Kwanzaa has a whole experience where we exchange zawadi, or gifts, and the focus is on gifting to the children, and we give them gifts that are creative. We do not just encourage people to just go to the store and buy gifts. We spend time preparing up to Kwanzaa for people to make handmade gifts, to design African conscious gifts, to give gifts of books, clothing, crafts, tools, things that the children can then build on and engage in the Ingusosaba. So they learn about collective work and responsibility. They learn about cooperative economics. They learn how to share and give purpose. They learn how to engage in creativity. They learn how important it is to have self-determination as a child of African ancestry. They learn what it means to have unity, principled unity. They learn what it is to maintain faith in all things, through all things.